Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is GGF bringing you episode 108 of Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. Bong bong, mashallah. I hope you guys are doing well and having a great time. Your boy GGF is doing great. Excited, took a little nap in real time here and excited to get back in and exploring Dyrford Village. If you didn't see last episode, I suggest pausing this and going to check it out and coming back later. Very interesting stuff going on here in Dyrford Village. Let's talk to Lord Harond. The man wears a Dira-style robe, simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look like they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. He yanks at a lock of hair twined around his silk-gloved finger. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
Party gained 708 experience.
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
He jerks a few strands from his head. Your child is missing, I take it.
Yes, Lady Alice, my daughter.
He tugs at the fingertips of his gloves.
I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
Right. His guard leans in. My lord, a merchant. Harond raises a hand to silence the man. If you find her... He nibbles the thumb of one silk glove. Tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my Alice, my child, is safe. Nothing in the world is more important to me. I heard you arguing with the innkeeper.
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Alice.
Actually, he seemed angry at you.
People from these backwater villages take offense for sport. You have to but show up with a full coin purse, and they'll hear insults in the jingle of your step. They forget that Duke Hadret came from the privileged classes, as did all of the other earls and lords who financed the rebellion they're so proud of.
This is why I'm hoping you can help. He tugs at a lock of hair again. I should have never trusted these people around my child. Tell me about yourself.
I'm Lord Nestor Harond of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since Imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Haomar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
I remember the Brackenbury, Harond estate. I'd like to ask a few questions about your daughter.
Alice. Of course.
He blinks at you and licks his lips. Describe Lady Alice. She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than to me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now. Tell me about her disappearance. We'd stopped in Dyrford for a few days. On our fourth evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Alice was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found that she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one at the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. Why did you and Alice come to Dyrford? It was merely a stop along the way to Ina's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, and so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days to recover. What's in Ina's Rest? Or Ina's Rest? He frowns as if about to protest, but he gives in with a sigh. Lady Alice has reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many Hollowborn. Where's the rest of your family? Surely they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Haran is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and, unfortunately, Elise has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Elise's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Adir these past months. He rubs his knuckles. And as for siblings, Elise has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn, since Elise, that is. There are better roads along the coast. Wouldn't it have been easier to follow them to Aina's Rest? If I thought that, I wouldn't be slogging through the forest, would I? He waves a hand. The main roads are clogged with people fleeing one way or another to try to escape Widewind's legacy. It would be difficult for a caravan like mine to pass without incident. At the time, it seemed prudent to move quietly along the back roads. It seems there would be more potential suitors in New Haomar or New Yarma. You think I haven't considered that? Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospects for my child lie in Aina's Rest. I see, but going back to your daughter, what about her? Let's go back to my previous questions. Alright, goodbye. Search Dyrford for information about Elise's disappearance. Guard, you know nothing? He eyes you carefully. Glad we have someone else looking for Lady Elise. The sooner we can find her and get out of here, the better. Tell me about Lady Elise. He shifts his weight. What's there to say? She's a lovely girl. Quiet, keeps to herself. She'd make any father proud. You don't seem to know her that well. My primary duties are to Lord Harond. What do you think that happened to her? He scratches his head. Could be a lot of things. The locals here don't seem to realize Hadrat's rebellion ended 150 years ago. Crowing about the castle they tore down and built their village over. I wouldn't put something like this past them. He shrugs. If I knew anything concrete, we'd have found her by now. You seem eager to leave Dyrford. Who wouldn't be? The whole village smells like wet leather and pig crap, and the locals have nothing but contempt for anyone who bathes more than once a year. He shakes his head. They won't lift a finger to find Lady Elise, but it raises their hackles when we go looking for her. Goodbye. Don de Valero. I think we read that already. Yeah. Let's go talk to Dangler, maybe?
Well met, friend.
Still on your feet, eh? He grunts in greeting. Tell me about Lord Harond's daughter. He frowns and shrugs. His lordship says she up and went missing the other day. He wipes a tankard with his ragged towel, twisting it with swift jerking motions. I don't know any more than that. However these lording bastards handle their affairs ain't no business of mine. Display your coin pouch. Perhaps you can make it your business. He scowls at you. Put them coppers away. My pay come from an honest day's work. Enough for me and should be enough for anyone. But you're just like that lord, rattling your purse like it's fit to buy the leave of gods and kith. What do you mean about Lord Harond and buying the leave of gods and kith? He shakes his head. Look, I don't want no trouble from you or him or anybody else. I'm just waiting for him to tire of my ale and leave so things can get back to normal around here. People know me for my integrity, Dangler. I swear I'll set the situation to rights. He leans on the bar and sighs. That girl, Elise, she was looking to disappear. You should have seen her, watching the door like a sheep at slaughter. All the time, she didn't hardly speak to no one. Only folk I seen her talk to is Tregill. He nods out the east window. His shop's by the broken tower. Bit of a hothead, that one. My advice is to let the matter drop. Like I say, it don't profit to dig around in other people's business. I understand, Dangler. Farewell. Goodbye. Blood Legacy. Pace, did we talk to her? That lord's still here? At the rate his soldiers are going through my ale, it's a wonder they haven't drowned in it. Sid the Bard.
Hail and well met.
Back to hear about the founding of the inn. Perhaps another time. Aorn. Thank you again. Dyrford may be a quiet place, but I find that's growing on me. Alright, let's check upstairs. Very interesting stuff, though. I can't wait to learn more about this. Come up here. Sneak around. Who's coming up the stairs? The Orlin hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? Someone told me you were responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Let me guess, was that someone named Medrith? She draws her stiletto. You're a big shot in Defiance Bay. If I'd gone on some kind of rampage, don't you think you'd have heard about it? She shakes her head. I got on the wrong side of his employers, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy for you. Relax, I just want to hear your side of the story. What story? The Dominels came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they already claimed it? She runs her hands under her hood and through her hair. It was an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now. And if you spoke with Medrith, you know where he's waiting. Please, help me get out of here. Go east. Medrith's waiting for you just west of the river. She nods slowly. All right, I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. That should buy me some more time. She follows the hooded figures toward the stairs, giving you a final uncertain glance as she passes through the door. Awesome. Cat and mouse. We will go ahead and tell.
Nice and quiet.
Medrith to go the other way. Direct Medrith away from Nearfree. 27 silver fennings and Admeth Hadrit rise to power. It's worth 16, I guess, or whatever. Awesome. Let's keep exploring. This painting depicts a forested ravine somewhere in the Living Lands. This painting portrays the expansive foothills below the mountains of White March. Very cool. Don't know what to expect in these other rooms.
Isn't this something?
Oh, something in the floorboard. There it is, the Guildmaster's staff. Nice. It was in a floorboard. The glass of this window is broken. Warped, knotted planks have been nailed over it. Can't take the Peridot. Cool books. Orient de Medici. You see a man, eyes tight on a couple down a cobblestone road. He moves a little too obviously, a little too naturally, and his eyes never leave her mussed curls as he shadows them from building to building. The woman laughs drunkenly, hand entwined within another belonging to a sharp-nosed noble, flawless doublet slightly too small for his generous frame. She brushes against him as they move, clearly far too intimate for her shadow's liking. His eyes narrow to angry slits as the couple slip into an opulent doorway and into the nobleman's hand slips down her, and then the nobleman's hand slips down her dress. Her breath shortens into gasps as she leans into him further, moaning. The spectator pauses, mouth pressed shut, veins bulging. He slides along the wall, dagger in hand, and just as the woman bites into the nobleman's doublet, he steps out. It's over in moments. He closes his eyes, dagger slipping from his blood-slicked hand, and bolts. Dang. And Daorn. You see a tall figure pacing the edges of a carpet, corner to corner, fingers twitching in irritation. The sound of battle grows ever closer, snaking its way through caves and corridors, past doors and soldiers, and the mage paces. Throwing his door open, he strides through the refurbished cave, taking scrolls from shelves and demanding potions from terrified grunts. Kicking a fallen chair from his path, He returns to his room, pacing, readying himself. As the enemy grows closer and closer, he begins casting spell after spell, defenses, additional vigor, traps. Just as his skin hardens into metal as they stride in, swords flying and arrows buzzing. Last chance to rethink this, he says. An arrow whistles by his head in answer. He sighs and his lips thin with effort as he begins his onslaught. There are 6 of them, but soon there are 4 and 3 and 1. For the last, he takes a dagger to be sure, throwing it directly into the Orlan's temple. The man topples, none get back up. The mage barks into the hallway, receiving naught but silence in response. Frustrated, he begins to dispose of the bodies. The last person standing. Huh. That's awesome. We got that Guildmaster's staff. I was curious about that when I heard it might have been in a floorboard. Awesome.
I see where you're going with that.
Go ahead and pick this.
There. What did I tell you?
Ooh, 147 Lucia and a fine flail.
This calls for a subtle touch. Give me a real challenge.
Bong bong. We've got 227 pawns and a balloon. Nice treasures. Let's go ahead and check that quarterstaff. I don't think it's soulbound, but it's a nice unique. This staff is topped by an emerald green orb between 2 wing-like protrusions. The long, slender staff is bonded and reinforced with gold casings. Plus 1.8 weapon reach. Grants Restore Minor Endurance, 3 per rest. Friendly AoE of plus 10 endurance. It's worth 810 just for that enchantment. I mean, we can't further enchant it, but it doesn't seem all that worth it. 16 to 23. Maybe with this setup. And what's the bonus? Grants Restore Minor Endurance, 3 per rest. 10 endurance is not really going to help a whole lot. Guildmaster staff. He's got a soulbound greenstone craft. He's killed 2 blights out of 5, or 4 out of 25 total. I'm not going to be able to use this, so I think we should just sell it. Minor Spellbind. I don't understand Minor Spellbind. I don't see that on it. Minor Spellbind. Make it fine. Damaging 2. Minor Spellbind. Oh, Restore Minor Endurance is Minor Spellbind. Yeah, I just don't think it's worth that much, so let's put it here. Scroll of Protection. The Fine Flail. Admeth Hadret. Who's got those Scrolls of Defense? Nobody? Pelagina. There we go. And a Potion of Power. Adair. Scroll of Prayer Against Fear. Can stash that for now. Scroll of Fireball, Rite of Walking Shadows. This ritual contained on the scroll allows the reader to plus 3 stealth. Yeah. Page from Old Helm's journal. I don't think we're going to need that anymore, right? Trindig's letter. Still have Lord Valtus's will. I don't know what to do with that. letter home. Alright. Brain. Nice. Let's keep it moving and see if we can grab those books without getting in trouble. Hail out the many faces of Barrett. Reputation with Dyrford goes down. The moon of Aora. Yeah, I don't want to lose any minor reputation just over some books. Get my water bottle. All right, let's go.
Sure.
Let's go, son. Interesting stuff. Still, the staff is worth 800, which is beautiful. Head out. And go tell these guys to go the other way. Medreth. Save Nifra. Very nice. Make sure they don't want to fight us. Get in position. Medreth.
Hello.
He picks at a long blade of grass. Found Nifra yet? I'm ready to get out of here. Lie, she snuck out of the back of the inn and went north. He squints at you, pulling the grass into two flimsy threads. Did she now? And how would you have known that? The innkeeper told me, said the bed sheets were hanging out the window. She won't get far. He grins and hands you a pouch of coin. You've been most helpful. My employees in House Dominel send their thanks. He turns to his posse. Let's go. Nice. Cat and mouse. Taxes collected, gained 467, lost 298 to bandits. I guess that was the best thing to do, gained 1,000 copper. Still as stones completed, Zawa returns to Stronghold. The trip to the Exomodo Plains was largely uneventful, but Zawa discovered a grisly sight upon arriving at the Apahuilo Adra Circle. Over 50 locals had become permanently petrified among the stones. Took a few days of investigation, but Zawa learned that the abductions all happened at specific times of night and in a pattern for miles around the stones. With the assistance of Apahuilo mathematician and philosophers, Zawa was able to expose the killer, an extremely powerful Adragan that had been protecting the Adra Circle for centuries. When Kith discovered the secret place, she began systematically stalking and petrifying anyone who lived within walking distance of the site. Zawa led a protracted battle against the creature with the help of locals, reward 620 XP, money, a minor item, and it's a mossy rock. This curious rock can be used to summon a swamp lurker once. It's only one time? Or maybe once, like, at a time, I don't know, but pretty cool. We also have to go meet 6 days, Lord Bjornwigar. Very cool. Do we have anything cooking here? Yeah, 1 day, 9 hours. Alright, now let's go back into the village. Look for peeps to talk to try to figure out what happened to Alice. No one in here. Let's have bigger problems if his guards keep pushing us around. We have to rest at some point as well. Let's see. The inn. Let's go talk to Rumbald.
How do you do?
Any sign of that ogre or its head? Enough about the ogre already. I'm looking for a young Or no, seen any sign of Elise Harond? His hands curl into knobby fists. How many times do I have to repeat myself? I already told those snooping guards I haven't seen her, but that hasn't kept them from nosing around my property. Need something else?
I'll take a peek.
Let's come down here. Go through here. House around guard. I don't know what's worse, the smell of the pigs or the smell of the people. Oh, jeez. Come down this way. There's a shop. Probably where we'll meet Treegill. The map continues east, so we'll pop in here. It's a barrel. Or a box. Winfrith's Arms and Armory. Okay, Winfrith's. Check out Winfrith, talk to him, pick up a Svef. Hidden in a box there. Let's see what we've got. Gotta steal that. A ripple sponge, we don't really need it. Ravala Larine. It's a woman. You see a forest clearing, fog curling through the weeds on the ground in the cold morning air. The serenity of the scene is occasionally broken by a faint noise that echoes through the silence. This woman emerges from the trees and stops, dropping to the ground. She creeps to the edge of the clearing and crouches near a tree. She glances around furtively, listening intently to the growing light. In the growing light, she presses her back to the tree, tensing against it, ready to spring forward. From the distance comes another sound, a rustling in the undergrowth. At that, she shoots forward, keeping as low to the ground as she can. She puts a hand to her throat and makes a sound, a shrill bird call, but what emerges from her mouth seems to emanate from yards away. From behind her, near the source of the rustling, there's a brief grunting noise that is quickly silenced. She dives into a large bush at the edge of the tree line, keeping her head down and wriggling silently through the leaves and twigs. She takes a position in the bushes, turning to face the direction she came. She raises her hand again, this time mimicking a Stelgar, placing the roar directly behind the men, failing to sneak up on her. More than one voice answers this call, all of them sounding panicked and hurried, all of them quickly moving this way, all thoughts of stealth forgotten. She backs out from under the bush to crouch behind it. As she pulls her bow from her back, she takes a shooting stance and waits for her hunters to appear. Cool.
Quiet.
And Winfrith. Let's check him out, see what his deal
Gods
is.
keep you.
A portly, smiling man stands behind a warped wooden counter, polishing a buckler. He looks up. Haven't seen you before. Always glad to see a new face in town. Company's good for business and chatter's good for the soul. That's what I always say. Anyhow, what can I do for you? What's been going on in Dyrford? Oh, we're a quiet little town. Not much happens here, especially not since the legacy hit. People realized they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying altogether. And that takes a lot of the excitement out of the day-to-day, if you can believe it. I'm looking for a young woman named Elise. That lord got you asking around too, eh? He grunts. At least you asked politely enough. Bad enough having a small army move into town, but then they start throwing their weight around and telling you your business. He shakes his head and clucks. That's the problem with these lords. They think their money and their family name entitle them to some kind of special treatment. They expect everyone to fawn over them the way their servants do. No, sir, that's not the kind of people we are, not in the Deerwood. We broke away from Adir to get away from that kind of nonsense. If they think... I certainly understand why you feel that way, but at the moment I'm just looking for his daughter. Of course, I was just getting to her. He clears his throat. I haven't seen her, not since she went missing anyway. She mostly kept to herself. He shrugs and wipes at the buckler again. But you know how women are, always carrying on, full of palaver once you get any two of them together. Perfectly harmless, mind you. I'm not criticizing. Just feels like they never run out of things to say. That girl seemed rather quiet, downright shy if I do say so, but even Hendina got her talking. Just goes to show you. Hendina? An alchemist, runs a small stand near the center of town. Talented lady, but she had a run-in with some worms not long ago. She's lucky it wasn't that ogre that's been roaming about. It took all of Rumbald's pigs the other day, did you hear? But don't get him started. He's still sore about the subject, and once you get him wound up about that ogre and his pigs, he just won't stop talking. Show me what you have for sale. Oh my gosh, look at all these uniques. Tall grass, a unique pike. A group of Adiran pikemen were so disciplined in battle that they garnered the attention of the Fairkening himself. He made them members of his personal retinue and ordered special weapons fashioned for them. They marched at the head of his procession, their movement perfectly synchronized and their pikes swaying like blades of grass in the wind. The pikemen became a public favorite during royal festivals and parades, and both they and their weapons earned the nickname Tall Grass. Exceptional, 8 accuracy, 30% damage, 10% of hits converted to crits, and crits can inflict prone. Nice. I like that. Worth 1,600. The Hours of St. Rumbalt. St. Rumbalt was among the first of the Eothasian pilgrims to take up the Emperor's offer of resettlement in the distant territory of Raed Saris. A dedicated priest of the Shining God, Rumbalt was regarded as a leader in his community, known both for his unwavering dedication to his congregation and his, stern vigilance against lapses in doctrine. What survives of his sermons reflects this duality, for he emphasized the redemptive power of the faith, even as he warned against the dire punishments awaiting those who rejected Aethys' beneficence. The colonization efforts brought Eothasian settlers into direct conflict with the native Orlan populations, with routing, and Rumbalt was among those credited with routing several brutal attacks upon the settlement. Ultimately, however, Rumbalt was mortally wounded during a violent raid. Witnesses claim that upon the moment of his death, Rumbalt's body was suffused by an overwhelming burst of light, knocking the remaining Orlan warriors flat or else scattering them back into the forest. Accounts arose of Rumbalt's final hours, describing the great miracles which were observed to have occurred during the day preceding his death. Aethys, it was said, had informed Rumbalt of his fate, and the priest accepted this gladly and without fear, for he knew that death was only the first step in his rebirth. He subsequently marked each of his final 27 hours with a miraculous act, such that his congregation would know of the gift Aethys had bestowed upon him and continue Rumbalt's work in his stead. Rather than staunch the flow of Eothasian settlers, Rumbalt's death only encouraged more pilgrims to venture across the sea, eager to set their eyes upon the final resting place of Aethys' favored servant. The Hours of St. Rumbalt was forged in dedication to this patron saint of the resettlement, and its blade is inscribed with markings counting the 27 hours before Rumbalt's passing. In such manner was the blade imbued with the saint's power. It was said that a man might kneel before the sword and know with precision the moment of his death. Cool. 50% to crit damage multiplier. Crits can inflict prone. It's a unique greatsword. Accurate 3, 12 accuracy, 15% damage. Grudge Keeper. One of the many Orlan slaves freed by the 10 Years' Treaties, Maswen Kaz swore vengeance against those who had wronged her and her people, gathering a small group of fellow freed Orlans to perform night raids on known slavers. She would go on to join the Graves' forces in putting down the Cooper's rebellion, if in an unofficial capacity, and it was at this point that she acquired an ornately carved rod from the home of a wealthy slave owner. Every time Kaz brought down a foe, she would scratch a notch into the rod she wielded. By the time she lost possession of it, the rod bore a crisscross pattern along its length that many assumed was part of its original designs. It's fine. 4 accuracy, 15% damage, plus 20% damage against prone, stunned, flanked enemies. Pretty cool. And Ritezi's Thorn. The sight of Ritezi on the battlefield was something no combatant ever forgot. Stocky and short even by Orland standards, Vertesi insisted on using a spear in lieu of any other weapon offered him. To the frequent shock of his comrades, Vertesi proved an unstoppable force on the battlefield. No matter how overwhelming the odds, Vertesi could take down opponents with almost comical ease, leaping great heights to bring his spear down upon his foes with crushing force. Whenever it seemed that Vertesi might at last meet his end, the fearless Orland would find a second wind and fight with renewed conviction. Plus 5 accuracy, fine, 4 accuracy, 15% damage. Plus 10 accuracy while endurance below 50%, 20% damage as well. Plus 25% crush damage. That is pretty sweet because we can still further enchant it. It's fine. Pretty nice though. Pretty nice weapons there. Mosquito. This finely crafted but unassuming rapier was created in the hot and humid forests of the Seathwood. Its first owner was a minor nobleman named Adwine Grunmef, known in social circles for his obsequious manner and annoying habit of lingering too long where he was not wanted. Adwine had little use for the blade in the courts he frequented. When Adwine died an unnotable death, the blade passed to his young niece, Cadin Grunmef. She found the weapon had characteristics of her uncle, good at interrupting at inopportune times, draining the life out of anyone it came into contact with, and a generally annoying presence. It was Cadin who gave the rapier its nickname Mosquito and used it regularly in court duels. The weapon passed to Adwine's grandson in the Deerwood upon her death, a thane of Sweinsrun. He was lost during a Glanfathan raid. Mosquito was lost with him, as he had no descendants and none of the Grunmeths of Adir had made a claim on the rapier. It had circulated among anonymous Glanfathan and Deerwooded owners ever since. 5 accuracy, it's fine. 4 accuracy, 15% damage, 20% of damage restored as endurance, and minus 5 concentration. It's not a bad rapier as well. Fine battle axe, oh my gosh. Anglo's Gambeson. The renowned Valian acrobat Angio wore this garment while performing jaw-dropping feats that seemed to defy the laws of nature and the standards of good sense. He would leap and tumble across wires suspended high above the ground, and while there's no evidence that the Gambeson actually reduced his intelligence, his concern for safety lessened as his fame and skill grew. He forswore the wearing of safety harnesses and eventually the use of any kind of safety rope, claiming that these tethers limited his ability to perform. While his skill never failed him, one of his tight ropes unfortunately did. He plunged to his death at the foot of Ansenze Fortress. Plus 2 athletics, plus 2 damage reduction, fine, recovery speed 20%. Ooh, grants deleterious alacrity of motion. Oh, just 1 per rest though. Still not bad. I do like that. Could make it exceptional. It'd be a DR8. 20% recovery speed. Boots of Zealous Command, and they're cheap. An officer in the Darkosi Palladini of Old Valia first wore these. It was said that those under her command knew her by the sound of her approach and stood a little straighter in her presence. She was known throughout the order for her inspirational leadership, only usable by Paladin. 20% Zealous Aura area of effect. We don't have a Paladin companion yet, do we? Oh, Palagina. Palagina's a Paladin. Voice of the Mountaintop. Dwarven enchanters of the White March are said to have mastered projection techniques to such a degree that they can trigger distant avalanches with their voices. Whether or not this specific rumor is true, they are known to chant between peaks and across rugged valleys, exchanging messages with their brethren across great distances. This amulet was forged by an ancient order of druids in the White March, precursors of the Ethic Knoll of Twin Elms. It was worn and passed down from one watchman to the next, men and women who stood guard atop the high peaks, ready to warn their fellows of approaching armies, only usable by Chanter, 20% chant area of effect. Increase. Rope and grappling hook, pry bar. We have a pry bar still. 2 of them. We have 3 grappling hooks. Hammer and chisel, we have 2. Lockpicks, we're fine. Let's sell. I hate to sell this, but it's gonna be for the best. Guildmaster Staff, the Fine Flail. That makes 1,091. Now, is there anything we want to buy? The Boots of Zealous Command, probably 20% Zealous Aura area of effect. I don't know what other boots she might be wearing though, but let's grab them. Make a trade and check it out. She's wearing Consecrated Ground Boots. Oh, those are so good too. Whenever she gets crit hit, it makes a big healing circle. But Zealous Aura, her Zealous Aura is 3 damage reduction, 15% of incoming hits converted to grazes. So we do want that to spread more. We'll give her these. And the Consecrated Ground, those have got to go to Adair probably. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. Now, do we want anything else from here? We have 14,000 copper.
Hello.
The Hours of St. Rumble. 50% to crit damage multiplier. Crits can inflict prone. It's very accurate. It's a great sword. And I can't see what we can enchant it with right now, but we can enchant it quite a bit more. Who would use it though? Pallegina has that fine S-stock. This does more damage. I'd still keep Drake's Spell though. Which has 8 DR bypass, 3 damage reduction burn, 5 accuracy against beast, 25% damage against beast, 25% freeze damage. It's unique S-stock. I don't know who would use the Hours of St. Rumble. Tall Grass, the unique pike, which is exceptional. 10% of hits converted to crits. Crits can inflict prone. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. This pike, would we give it to Pallegina? How about Haravius? He's using Raven Wing, which does the same damage, but with 3 DR bypass. 4 accuracy when attacking the same target as an ally with 25% extra damage when attacking the same target. 25% corrode damage and damaging 3. I would say Tall Grass is a bit of a better weapon though. It's pierce damage versus crush. It's exceptional, so the accuracy is going to be through the roof. And then 10% of hits converted to crits, so every 10th hit gets an extra crit. And they can inflict prone, not just at 10%, but any crit can inflict prone. Alright, we're going to have to think about that, because that's the one I'd probably get. Grudge Keeper, Unique Rod, that's a ranged weapon. I don't know who would really use that. And Retezi's Thorn. I don't really like the while endurance below 50% bit. Still a nice spear. And then Mosquito. That's pretty nice. 20% damage restored as endurance. It could be further enchanted. Plus 5 accuracy. It's fast. I could probably use that instead of what's in my other hand, which is Measured Restraint Rapier. Alright, let's look. Let's see what we can do here. Haravius, he's got the Red Reed Wand. which we haven't really used yet. He's got Raven Wing. Aloth is set up. Sagani. That's Resolution. Voidrick. 20% of damage restored is Endurance. Unique Stiletto. Palagina has Drake's Bell. Gown Share. It's a nice weapon. Adair. He's dual wielding swords. He's talented with that. Persistence. Hunting bow. I don't see him needing that. Could we give him a two-handed weapon there? Yes, we can. And it would be that greatsword, perhaps. But it's not necessarily an upgrade. Let's give her the bow. That makes more sense. Sagani gets the bow. And Adair can get the sword and board. Dial, Yoon, Debita. Not the greatest weapon. But that looks pretty solid to give him much more deflection. 94 deflection, oh my gosh. And 57 accuracy. Still, he's killing it with the swords. The exceptional pike, I can only see Heravius becoming an arms bearer maybe and using it. Myself. Oh, let's see if we can replace measured restraint. 5 accuracy, 1 enemies engaged, 25% corrode damage. Kith Slayer, accurate 3. Probably hang on to that actually.
Good day, stranger.
Tall grass though. That would really be worth getting, I think. 18 to 26, but again, who can use it? Crits can inflict prone. I would like to buy one of these, but I don't think we're going to actually. Crits can inflict prone, 50% damage on crit. Hours of St. Rumball. Accurate 3. 16 to 23, but Tezzy Storm. Yeah, I think that's it. The rapier, 5 accuracy, 20% damage restored as endurance, -5 concentration. It's fine. I like it because it restores 20% of damage as endurance, but I'd have to trade my rapier for it. Measured restraint, which is really good. Angios Gavison. +2 athletics. Deleterious alacrity of motion. On user, 50% attack speed for 30 seconds. Only 11 endurance. -11 over 30 seconds. +2 move speed. That's really sweet. 1 per rest. Could I use that? Jack of Wide Waters, +2 survival. We could get damage reduction on it. We could get dexterity on it. It's not exceptional, but we can make it fine. Oh, it is fine. 60R, we'd be losing quite a bit of damage reduction. Recovery speed, 20%. Crush is 8. It's going from 10 to 8. DR6, slash 11 to 6. Burn 6 to 5. Pierce 10 to 8. Corrode 6 to 5. Everything else 8 to 6. I'd rather 2 athletics than 2 survival. And deleterious alacrity of motion once per rest is really sweet. Maybe we'll buy this. We'll put slash proof on it, like this has. We'll put maybe 2 dexterity on it. Yeah, I think we're gonna buy Angio's Gambison, acrobatic Gambison. Usable by Chanter. So let's quick save, just in case it doesn't work out too well.
Gods keep you.
And we'll grab Angio's Gambison for 4,050. Takes us to about 10k. And let's see what we can do with it. Oh my gosh, look at that. I've never seen these all lit up like that. Wow. Of dexterity too, even. Uses our only diamond, but it's pretty sweet. No might too. Right now, it's dexterity 1. Does he have anything that raises might? Any of these? Acceptance, 15 endurance. Denial, no. Nothing that raises might. So, that's a -1 intellect. We might get +2 might. Let's see. Dexterity's 14. It'll go down to 13. Might will go to 14. Action speed and reflex is good. Damage and healing. Yeah, let's go with might. Of might +2. And that's going to take a primal wind, a pilgrim's crown, a diamond, and 1,000 copper. +2 might, enchant, bong bong. And we can further proof it, which I would go basic. There is crush proof. Crush is fine though. Let's go with slash proof. A deer cap, a beetle shell, an amethyst, 100 copper, 3 damage reduction slash, bong bong. Now let's check this thing out. Worth 1040, whereas mine I'm wearing is worth 840. This is definitely in fashion right now. Looks the same. Now this one, with 1 dexterity and 2 survival, Aloth, he's got a sun-touched mail of Huron Rat, +1 might, +2 damage reduction, grants sunbeam that he hasn't used yet. This has a 20% saving speed, but this is much heavier. Amazing slash protection. Still can grant sunbeam when necessary. Gives +1 might. Poison and disease go off quicker. Not much we can do with it right now. This would give 1 dex instead of might. 2 survival, which it's useful, I guess. The damage reduction goes way down though. Goes from 11 to 14. Slash goes from 20 to 14. Crush goes from 14 or from 10 to 13. That's a bonus. Piercing goes from 14 to 13. Burn and corrode go from 14 to 9. Deflection is only 40 with either of them. Damage goes up with the heavier armor. don't know. Is it worth? That one's worth 840. That one's worth 840. I guess it depends on what we want from it. Sunbeam is still powerful, especially blinding for 15 seconds. 3 per rest. +1 might. Whereas this offers pretty decent survival. 1 dexterity. And 25% more recovery speed. It's a tough one, but I think I'm going to keep on what we have. But keep that handy because I do want to think on it. Let's see where we at right now. 55 minutes. Time just flies, guys. I get so wrapped up in doing stuff that it's just amazing, this game. So fun. So I hope you think so too. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe before heading out. Greatly helps the channel. And thank you for watching and spending your time with me. Lots of fun. Also, if you want to be a huge help to the channel, just a quick PSA, you can become a member for $1.99 a month even, and that is a huge help to me and the channel. Information and links are in the description. Feel free to check that out if interested. If not, that's cool too. But until next time, guys, hope you'll return. Episode 108 successful. I don't want to stop recording. This may go on to be my longest series yet on the channel because I'm so motivated to do much more, get through all this content, and even get to Pillars 2. So we'll keep it moving, guys. Until next time, be well, live well, stay well. Excuse me. Much love, peace, and joy. And see you when I see you. Ciao for now.